Kia ora, Kumi here from 64TS. We're here with part 5 of the warm-up for competition series. And this is going to be the template that the 64 Army, or the protocol that the 64 Army has for our warm-up design for competition. So in order, we're going to break it down and the reasons of why we have it there and the timing construct of start to finish as well. So we begin our warm-up with blood flow. So just a general body warm-up, getting the blood moving in the body, the muscles kind of awoken, and the blood coming to each muscle group. So we're going to spend some time, 2 or 3 minutes on a machine, maybe some running, or just some light activation things with our body. And this is just going to get, again, that blood flow and oxygen traveling around the body. From there, we're going to spend an amount of time on mobility, so we try keep it 10 minutes or less. Anything over that is a little bit unnecessary, unless you're kind of at the earlier stages of the day or the entire event. But 10 minutes or less, and 1 or 2 movements that we're going to do, maybe 3 max, that are specific to the event. So if I've got anything overhead, I might be in a banded shoulder stretch. I might be in a box shoulder stretch, just opening up my thoracic and also the front of my shoulder portion, just to get my my arm traveling behind my head a little bit better. If it's anything to do with squatting, I might be doing some sort of hip flexor stretch, a couch stretch, some banded hip opener. Any kind of good stretches, there's thousands of them out there, but something that's specific to the event. On top of that, I will probably have something personalized to the athlete as well. So if there's like a general issue that athletes have in their body that they know that they need to warm up every single time, we're definitely going to tick that box as well, on top of the specified workout mobility. So that would be the situation that you'd push that bracket closer to the 10 minutes if there's extra additional personalized mobility for general injury or something like that, or restriction that an athlete does have. From there, we move on to activation. Activation means getting the targeted muscle groups firing per event. If it is something that's over here, we generally like to go into the rotator cuff and build some shoulder stability. If it's and as well, we would typically go into the core and get some stability through the core. So activation is anything that's kind of just lower in intensity, movement specific toward the movement that's going to be performed. It's not an entire portion of the movement that you would see out on the floor. So let's say, for an example, I do have a bar muscle ups in my workout. I'm probably going to do some thoracic openers. It could be quadruped position, some T-spine rotations. It could be bar hanging, dead hang position, just some decompression of the spine to lengthen out each vertebrae, and then maybe into some bar kipping swings just to open up some sort of segmented portion of the bar muscle up. And then other things like squatting, I could be doing body weighted reverse lunges, curtsy lunges, hitting different angles of the hips. Excuse me, I could squat with different foot position, opening up the hips and attacking like different targets, and probably more as a diagnostic tool to feel out different impingements within the lower limbs of the body. So certain angles of my foot position could cause tightness of the adductors that would bring awareness to myself, and maybe lateral of the hip, IT bands, TFL, things like that. But our activation is generally going to run between 2 or 3 rounds, 3 to 4 movements, 10 to 15 reps. Much like the specific mobility opener, I would like to see that done in 10 minutes or less. If you're going over that, your time is just like, it's just wearing down on your athletes. You're now about 30 minutes into a warm-up. So do keep it specific, and it can be done in like 6 minutes. So it has to be very, very accurate. As the day goes on, that 3 rounds is probably definitely going to come down to 2. A little tip of the trade is going to be, if you going a little bit close, or sorry, if your start time for your event extends a little bit, let's just slow down that activation, maybe add in another round, or definitely hit the 3 rounds instead of the 2, so it could be 2 or 3 rounds, and that's just going to help you control your timing closer to that event. Also keep our athlete moving a little bit and not have to fizzle out or down-regulate. Movement preparation, so some workouts require different amounts of movement preparation than others. Obviously, higher skill gymnastics is going to be a component that needs some time to look over and get accuracy on those movements. Building up to a heavy barbell. So if your barbell's 120 squats, 120 kilo squats, or heavy snatches, things like that, it's going to take time to prepare for those as well. So understand the timing that it takes for you and your athlete to warm up for those loads with the appropriate amount of rest, without overdoing it or having to rush yourselves through as well. So that timing construct needs to be factored in. And there may be some workouts that are just bodyweight ninjas that doesn't even need to be there at all, because you've kind of tapped on it in the activation. Then we head it off with the primer. Our primer is generally going to be the workout specified design. The reps will be less than, or maybe we do 1 round if it's a 10-round workout. Maybe we chop the reps in half and we do 2 rounds of something. But we just want to gain an understanding of what things are going to feel like moving from component to component, and then the entirety of it all before we get out there. So ideally, you're going to hit the floor with a second wind, then going out there, beginning the workout, getting 1 minute in and be like, damn, this hurts. Like, you already understand that this is going to hurt. Do it in the warm-up area, have a sense of understanding of what it's going to be like, and then by the time we're out there, we should be ready. After that primer, you need to be taking the amount of time to rest and recover, and just to get your heart rate settled again before we go out to the floor. And that would be anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. A safe way to think about it, if you've ever done the CrossFit open workout in your own gym, after your last kind of warm-up set, think about how long it takes you to turn your camera on and actually go on the event. So it's going to be somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes, maybe more for some. You end up making all these excuses. I've got to go wipe the board, I've got to go blow my nose, I've got to go fill my water bottle, because the angst and the nerves come into play. And then you perform this amazing workout and you do really, really well. So those are the timing constructs of what we're going to have in our protocols. You've got your blood flow, you've got your mobility specific to the warm-up and to restriction or personalized mobility. Activation, 2 or 3 rounds of some priming movements, and then movement prep. It's going to depend on the workout, and you're going to have to factor in the time equation for that. Your primer, get it hissing, get out of breath. You're probably going to move a lot faster on your primer than you are in the actual workout. There won't be a pacing control on that. And then the time before the workout begins, understand that before you actually hit the floor or the marshalling area. That's all for our part 5 series of the warm-up for competition. Hope you've enjoyed, hope you've learned something, and something to take home with it. Thank you.